Day 15. The Silver Swan, a timeless tale from Sweden, full of wonder and a lesson of kindness. Long ago, in a little village nestled beside a quiet lake, children spent their afternoons skimming stones across the water's surface. As evening fell, old fishermen would gather, telling tales of strange, silvery lights they'd seen dancing on the lake during moonlit nights. The water was a place of work, play, and quiet mystery, holding stories as deep as its cool depths. The villagers respected the lake, for it gave them fish and filled their days with simple beauty. But no one truly knew the secrets it kept hidden beneath its shimmering surface, waiting for the right moment and the right heart to reveal itself. In this very village lived a child named Elsie. Elsie didn't have pockets full of gold or a grand house to live in, but they possessed something far more precious, a brave and endlessly curious heart. Every day Elsie would go down to the lake shore, launching a small wooden boat they had carved themselves. As the little boat bobbed on the gentle waves, Elsie would dream of adventures, of magical creatures, and of the mysterious lights the fishermen spoke of. Hope shone brightly in Elsie's eyes, a light that mirrored the stars beginning to appear in the twilight sky above the calm, whispering lake. One night, when the moon was a perfect, brilliant circle in the dark sky, a figure of pure silver rose from the center of the lake. It was a swan, but unlike any bird the villagers had ever seen. It seemed to be crafted from shining, liquid silver, and its feathers were like 1,000 tiny mirrors, catching and scattering the moonlight in every direction. It moved with a silent grace, gliding across the water without a single ripple, surrounded by a soft, ethereal glow. The air grew still, and the world seemed to hold its breath, captivated by the enchanted creature that had emerged from the mist. The silver swan glided toward the shore, its eyes like polished obsidian, until it was right beside Elsie's small wooden boat. It didn't seem frightening at all. Instead, it gently nudged the boat with its head. Then, with its silver beak, it pointed toward a spot nearby, where a fisherman's net was hopelessly tangled around a heavy stone at the bottom of the shallow water. Understanding at once, Elsie waded into the cool lake and carefully worked to free the net. The swan watched, its silver form glowing in the moonlight. As the last knot came loose, Elsie had saved the fisherman's entire catch for the morning. Word of the magical swan and Elsie's kind act spread through the village like wildfire. The fishermen were grateful, and the children were filled with wonder. But not everyone had a pure heart. A proud and wealthy noble who lived in a grand hall heard the tale and grew greedy. He didn't see a magical creature. He saw only the silver of its feathers. He imagined how they would look adorning his great hall, and commanded his men to capture the beautiful swan. That night, a small party of men, their faces grim, left the village with torches and nets, making their way toward the moonlit lake. Under the cloak of darkness, the noble's men crept to the water's edge. They saw the silver swan shimmering peacefully on the lake. As they readied their heavy nets to cast, a small figure darted out from the shadows. It was Elsie, running toward the lake, placing themselves directly between the men and the swan. "Don't take her," Elsie cried, their voice trembling but firm. "She is not for treasure, she is for the lake." The men hesitated, surprised by the child's courage. The silver swan, frightened, huddled in the water behind its small, brave protector. The swan, seeing Elsie's courage, bowed its long, elegant neck and gently touched the child's outstretched hand with the tip of its wing. In that very instant, a soft, warm light sparkled between them. Watching from the shadows, the noble felt a strange warmth spread through his chest. The greed in his heart suddenly felt cold and heavy, replaced by a deep sense of shame. He saw not a prize to be won, but a child's pure kindness and a creature's gentle trust. Lowering his head, he called off his men and turned away from the lake, his quest for silver forgotten. As the men retreated, the silver swan dipped its head to Elsie one last time before swimming back into the silvery path of the moon on the water. As it vanished into the mist, the entire lake began to glow with a soft, gentle light that lasted until dawn. From that day on, the village changed. The people learned to prize kindness and wonder far more than gold or riches, and to honor the memory of the magical creature. Every spring they would gather by the shore and leave a single small silver feather by the water, a gift of gratitude for the lesson the swan had taught them all. The village became known not for its wealth, but for its warmth and its heart. And so the story of the silver swan reminds us that sometimes the truest and most lasting beauty is not something you can hold in your hands or hang upon your wall. It is something you protect, something you share, and something you carry forever in your heart. If you liked this tale, subscribe for more bedtime stories. Good night.